discussing the thing that happened
Holy
was
cow. Oh, I gotta stop you, FDSS, because we have, royalty coming on.
Oh, come on,
How
man.
come?
Listen up to that.
Hey,
What's up, y'all?
what an honor. What an honor. Thank you
Oh,
for
the honor
coming
is
on.
mine, man. Thank you for having me. Thanks
All
for
right,
having
I got
me.
proof now. I screenshot that baby. You coming on the panel. I got because Save the Humans will say it didn't happen if you don't have proof, video proof.
I love Steve, man. He's cool.
He's top notch quality people,
He really is.
you know.
I'm
So how
actually
you
just
been?
working on something right now. I was working and lurking, like I was telling Jen. She said, "There's a lurker in here." I'm a
Cool.
lurker. This is
That's
Can you
fun.
see that? Pinellas County
Yeah.
911. They sent me a call that I've been waiting on since May 19th. It was
Wow.
I thought the cops had solicited a trespass from these kids that work at the snack bar, and I was giving the cops a hard time about them soliciting a trespass for these homeless people. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. There's homeless people who were sleeping in the seagrass on the beach, and I thought that the cops went to the snack bar to solicit a trespass from the kids who work there. And
Oh
I,
no.
I kept giving them a hard time about it, but that wasn't the case. There was a complainant, one of the kids from the snack bar. She's a cop sucker.
Oh.
Her boyfriend is a Pinellas County Sheriff's deputy, and it took this long for me to get that 911 call because of that. But I
So
got
so
it.
why
if
did
her
they make
boyfriend's in the same department, wouldn't that make that a conflict of interest for her to be trying to call in and raise shit?
Well,
well it
I
does
don't think so. I mean, she already fucked herself by calling them for no reason. They didn't cause a disturbance. They were, well, technically they're not allowed to be in the seagrass, but to be trespassed for that, I mean, it
yeah, how
was
about walk up and say, you're not supposed to be there, move out of the seagrass, whatever. Yeah.
Who
The
said they wasn't
cops
supposed to be in the
they
seagrass?
do have discretion.
right, right.
But
And
who
the
said they couldn't be
seagrass,
in the seagrass?
well, there are signs posted. There's actually an ordinance about the
Yeah.
seagrass. It's like it's also like the height of sea turtle season. And that's where they go to have to lay their eggs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But those
So it
people were
makes
back
sense.
there for about 3 months or 3 nights. I mean, and hold on, sorry.
No, no worries.
Yeah, the 3 nights not bothering anybody, and I have a really good view from the balcony where I was staying for 2 months
Hmm.
there. And I saw the cops, and when I saw the cop heading to the snack bar, that's when I ran down, and I thought he was going to solicit a trespass, but he was just going to talk to the little chicken lips girl that called the cops on him.
Hmm.
And I found out her name from the cops. So when they, muted it from this phone call, it doesn't matter. They gave it to me on record, and it's written in the police report, so that's public
Yeah.
record. And and that, they tried their best. They waited 2 months to give me the record, which is
Wow.
already a violation of our records law. And
Yeah.
yeah, but they'll probably fall back on that old COVID excuse. Everybody's still doing that. Oh, because of
Ugh.
COVID, I was late.
Why?
I
Because they're the only
don't
ones working
know.
full time still. There's, it's not like
Right?
cops are getting laid off for COVID,
It's
right?
not
Try
like I'm
telling
not paying taxes anymore. I still
try
pay
tell the
taxes.
try telling the tax collector, well, it's COVID. I can't pay taxes, sir. Oh
Right.
no,
Yeah.
you're going to jail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just got that, and it was funny. I had the roster of the entire police department, and I was just like digging on their names, looking
Yeah.
on the internet, and I found one. And one of them was the cop who was responding, and I was like, "Hey, what's your name and badge number?" He told me, and I was like, "Oh, Kip," and he's like, "Yeah, how's litigation going?" He's like, "What do you mean? You're divorced, man." He's like, "Oh, it's all right." I said, "Well, I hope you find somebody you deserve, man." And I let it go at that. And he put in the
Yeah.
report. He says,
That
"No,
could
no,
that could
no,
mean
He says,
that could mean two things. Either, oh, I hope you find happiness, or I hope you find a Hagatha.
yeah, someone you deserve, exactly. So I don't know him, so whatever. Fate shall decide. But I read the report and it said an unknown male started recording us on his phone, and he knew my first name and other personal details that I did not provide. I just know how to work the Google machine on the interweb, man. We didn't all
I
graduate
love
from the
it.
tribe.
You freaked him out, is what you did.
Yeah, but they do that to us all the time.
Cool.
I know I've been putting up passes and stuff, like good feel good videos, trying to like, put good stuff out. But
Yeah.
man, when a little cop-sucking tyrant falls in my lap, I'm gonna expose her.
Yeah.
Wait till you see her. Oh, that's another thing. A few days later, I go to the snack bar because I had asked, and she was already gone. They were like, "Oh no, she's not here." So I went back a couple days later, and she was there. I was like, "Hey Taylor, did you call the cops on some homeless people? Was that you that called the cops on them?" She goes, "Sir, I need you to leave the snack bar area." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you still don't get that you can't trespass somebody from public property if they haven't committed a crime." Ask Josh. Ask Josh Michael, your deputy boyfriend. Ask him. And she goes, "Yeah." And she
How
goes,
do you know all this shit?
"All right, Fintan." I was like, "Oh my God, it's pronounced Fintan, but wow, you know who I am too." She called me by my first name. She did some digging of her own.
That
And I
shows
didn't know
prior
that.
knowledge. That shows
Yeah.
prior knowledge and conspiracy, considering that she can't get access to your private personal information without her boyfriend's special access to that unlawful used computer.
Wait till I expose all that shit, man.
This is
That's
epic.
what's coming up. You heard it here first on Moose's channel.
That's right, folks. At the lounge. Breaking news.
Hey, that's so true. What you were saying about people causing trouble in the community and just like toxic stuff. It's like I had a guy telling me it's another channel. I'm not gonna say who, but he called me and he told me, "Oh, this other channel is on a list. There's a list of FBI informants." I'm like, "Oh, really? And he's on it?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, and who else is on this list? "Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen the list." I'm like, okay. So they're FBI informants in our community. What are they informing about? Because nobody here is a criminal.
Wait, you said they was on the list, but you haven't seen the list. Now, how would they know they was on the list if they haven't seen it?
No, because they've been warned about this person that they were trying to warn me about. I'm like, you're regurgitating garbage, man. Like, ask yourself critical thinking questions. Like, what crime are they informing? None of us are criminals. We're actually performing a civic duty that every American should do. So what is the crime that they're informing on? And who are these other people? And why haven't you seen the list? So, I broke it down and the guy's like, oh yeah. I'm like, you see, you're being manipulated by some haters. There's some channels that are just like, they don't like other people joining. I wish every single American would have a YouTube channel recording the police anytime. That would be awesome.
Well,
hey, I had no idea that it was okay for them to lie to you.
You didn't know that?
And
I
just, you know what? I voluntarily gave up rights that I didn't realize I had, through ignorance all those years. But, as for instance, I got pulled over speeding, and cop goes, "You know why I pulled you over?" And I go, "Yeah, I was speeding." Yeah. What a dumb shit. I didn't have to say, "No, I'm not a mind reader. I don't know why you pulled me over,"
I'd like to say,
what I should have said.
You know why I pulled you over? Because you made straight C's in high school, man.
But I mean, that's just an example of how, I had no idea what's been going on, but I don't think, like back in the 70s when I started driving, that because they, you could get away with getting pulled over and the cop wouldn't automatically say, "Okay, we're doing a sobriety test or stuff like that. It's just, sometimes they follow you home to make sure you got home safe,
Isn't that when they made seatbelts anything for service? Like the thing that I talked to Gary about, that's the troll that dug this stuff up.
Mhm.
I said, look, man, you sold T-shirts to try to get into a parade. He's like, yeah. I'm like, you don't ask to be in a parade. You get asked to be in a parade. That's the way that
Right,
works. When I was in Rotary, they had to drag me to that thing. I didn't want to be on that float
right.
all day, riding around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't get anything out of it. You give. That's the part of service
Well,
they don't
let me
get.
ask
Not
you a
only
question.
that, like when I got out, I joined the American Legion and the Sons of the American Legion because my
I
grandfather was
know.
a World War I vet. And
Well,
it's all volunteer and it's all for the community you live in. Them people, the legions, the VFWs, you wouldn't believe what they do for their own community and vets within the community.
and
It's
And that reminds me, and I'd be remiss before I leave, if you remember anything I say, remember the Honor Flight Network. If you guys know of one in your area, find one near you and find a World War II veteran because they are still alive and kicking. There's a bunch of 90 something year olds out there, and they have
Yep.
not seen the World War II memorial that was only created in the 2000s by George W. Bush.
Yeah.
So please get that person
Yeah.
to take their free ride, their free flight. It's already paid for. They already paid for it 70 something years ago. They
Right.
fly out to DC, they get to see the monuments, and then they fly back home. And this is the really cool part. If you guys haven't heard of this, the Honor Flight Network.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, we all go out there. There's about 2,000 or 3,000 people at the local airport, and they have a gauntlet of flags welcoming these dudes home. Because a lot of people have this misconception that in World War II, everybody got a ticker tape parade when they got home. No, man, they were like, hey, back to work. We were over here working. Welcome back. Get back to work. And that's how
Right.
their mentality was. So they didn't get those. Now it's time they deserve it. Before they pass away,
Right.
the very few
I
that there
have
are, please look for them.
on my channel, Finn, I got a playlist of combat veteran interviews, and mostly they're World War II vets, of
Wow.
Japanese, German, and mostly American. And I just got fascinated by because these guys, like you say, they're not going to be around much longer. They're so old, and I think it's very important what you just said about the honor flight.
And they take Vietnam vets also, and they take even Iraq
Yeah.
vets. If you're terminal or something like that, if you know somebody who's terminal, they'll put you on that flight.
Yeah, and I
they
was
took
so
volunteers.
when I went to DC and I walked up to that Vietnam memorial, I don't know, it just because I had neighborhood kids that died in Vietnam growing up.
I cried like a little baby girl, and I didn't know anyone. I didn't have
Yeah.
anyone in my family or anything. So I went and I looked for a random name, and I took that rubbing.
Mhm. Yeah, this pencil
Still
with the
have it.
paper.
Yeah, I still have that in the
Awesome.
Korean War Memorial. If there are any
Yeah.
Korean War vets watching, you are not forgotten. That is
No,
the echelon formation that those guys are
right.
moving in. The memorial, it's pretty nice. But the World War II memorial, remember the government shutdown? They tried to shut down that open air memorial, and the Honor Flight Network guys went
Yeah.
viral by breaking through the barriers. The Normandy beaches couldn't stop these guys from all the donations. But on this happy note, I have to double down on what you said about this being the best country. It really is, man. I've been all over this bubble, and I love Switzerland.
Yeah.
Switzerland is a close second. It's beautiful out there, but I just drove cross country with my wife to California, and we got to see like the lower half of this country, and it was beautiful. And I hear the upper half, which I haven't explored, is even more beautiful. So I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
And proud to be an American for sure.
If you're gonna do that, I'd wait till the fall times. I wouldn't say winter time. I'd say wait for the fall for the change.
No, you got to come up here and experience Minnesota in January.
No
Be
thanks.
like,
You want to come for the snow, but not for the leaves.
That's it.
oh, it's not the snow. It's not the snow that's so wonderful. It's the 40 below zero weather.
Yeah.
You just
So
trying to get
nice.
that southerner to be frozen the damn upper Midwest fucking territory there.
Guys, I hate the cold, man. I love, as hot as it gets here, there's always a cold beer or a swimming pool nearby.
I'll tell you what, May is the best time to be up around here.
I really didn't even
I really
record. I didn't
appreciate
argue
you
with
coming
that.
up and talking to us, Wrights, and you have to come back again so we can learn about hobbies and what you like to do when you're not auditing.
Oh yeah, man! I'm gonna start several other channels. I'm gonna start a model building channel, a woodworking channel, an experimental
Cool.
aircraft flying channel. I've got all the videos
Awesome.
already. Travel channel,
Awesome.
foodie channel. I'm gonna try to put all these together because, man, I like YouTube. I just don't like
Right.
having to risk my life and liberty. So I want to
Check
keep
Yeah.
doing YouTube.
Check on
And
TrueFood. That's a lot more of a better platform. I'm just saying.
oh, absolutely, yeah. Chris Powers has been telling me about that. Same with Friends in Code. Love
Yeah,
those guys.
Friends
TrueFood.
and Code,
Friends and
YouTube.
Code
Yeah.
built it.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I love
So
Big.
Friends
you
and
know
Code.
the guy. You know the
Solid.
guy that owns it and runs it. So I mean, you're
Yeah.
pretty well connected with that
Yeah,
platform. I mean,
I
Yeah, I
went
can't wait
to
to
it
get on
and
the scene.
it's so different. I can't really navigate it well, but I'll figure it out sometime.
you'll be
Yeah, I'm
broadcasting.
gonna do it. I gotta figure it out, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna do
I'll
that
check it
definitely.
out.
But
Yeah,
hey, y'all, I got a boogie. Thank you again for having me on here, and again, thank you, Fuck DSS, for sharing that story, man. I'm heartily sorry that happened to you. And
oh no, that was I didn't nothing happened to me in that 4 hour ride except I lost my glasses and I waited 2.5 hours on his way back to call him and say, hey, where's my
oh,
glasses
okay. So
at?
you were like, tell us, like, but it happens, man, and that's the stomach turning stuff that
Yeah.
a lot of people don't
innocent
want to face, but we have to face
innocent
it.
innocent until proven guilty doesn't work in the foster care system. You're guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of like when you get pulled over by a cop or have
right.
any interaction. You're guilty of something, and we're going to dig and find out what it is.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing about it.
Well, take care,
But
y'all. Thanks again.
hey, be cool and be safe, man. Thanks for
Later,
coming,
man.
and you're welcome back anytime.
Thanks, man.
Hope we see you soon.